Dumbbell hip thrust. For this exercise here, there are tons of different ways that you can get set up for your hip thrust. I chose to grab a riser because for most people, that's what they'll have accessible to them. And then you want a barbell with some plates. And so we'll go through some of the different options. So with your riser, first and foremost, that sort of universal hip thrusting height, the height of the riser will be around 16 inches, unless you're someone who's a lot taller, or if you're a little bit shorter, then you might go down to about 14 inches, taller 18 inches, but 16 kind of sits in the middle there. And with that, a riser can be really good because you can get to that height, whereas with most benches, you'll see this bench here, this is probably almost 20 inches high with that bench, or definitely 18, much too high for me. So with that, riser can work really well. You can try your bench setup, or if you have an adjustable bench, you can try it on a decline, try it on that regular height, totally up to you. Now the second thing is your barbell, and again, it really helps to have plates with a thick diameter. So what I often recommend to clients is buying 10-pound bumper plates, which will be 10-pound plates that are this high to go with their barbell, and then from there they can just stack weights onto the side. The reason being, a 10-pound plate, if you're starting with that plus a barbell 65 pounds, it's not going to have much diameter to it, your standard plate, so it's harder to get that bar on. So plates with a thicker diameter can work really well, or if you're a little bit stronger and you got 45-pound plates and you can roll it on, great. The other option is to have something propped up on the side here that you roll your barbell onto for when you're ready to start your hip thrusting. And then the third thing is your cushioning. So highly recommend investing in a squat sponge. They're about $30 or $40 at your local fitness store or on Amazon. And if you don't have a squat sponge, then yoga mat can work really well. From there, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get set up. I want the bottom of my shoulder blades to be sort of my hinge point on my riser here. And then from here, I'm gonna roll this bar right onto my hips. So you'll notice with that thicker diameter, rolls on easily. And then for hip thrusting form points, so I got my shoulder blades on. We don't wanna be resting up at the neck or up at mid shoulder. You want it to be right at the bottom of your shoulder blades. From here, I'm gonna tuck my feet in. I'm gonna dig through my heels strong. I like to keep my toes up a little bit. Feet are shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. And then when I go to initiate my thrust, I'm gonna keep my chin tucked in. I'm gonna engage my core nice and strong. I like to push my stomach right into that sponge. And then I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and drive them up strong. So chin tucked, stomach tight, squeeze the glutes. There's one rep. We want to come all the way down, rest, reset. And then same idea again, chin tucked, stomach tight, squeeze the glutes. 2, and down, pause. 3, and down, pause. 4, down, pause. 5, down, pause. This way. So again, at the top of each rep, one of the things you don't want is to rush your hip thrust. At the top of each rep, little hold, make sure those hips are getting through enough, make sure that stomach is on nice and strong. Where you're gonna notice your hip thrust going wrong is 2 things. 1, if you feel it too much in your quads. 2, if you feel it too much in your lower back. If that's the case, a few adjustments need to be made. Typically with the quads, it's where you have your feet in too close like this, and now I can already feel my quads stretch up. So I'm gonna walk my feet out and just dig through my heels a little bit more as I go to perform my thrust. With your lower back, it can be a combination of a few things. Could be your feet are too close, you want to walk them out a little bit. Could be that you're not getting full engagement through your glutes as you're getting to the top, like so. So if I don't have full engagement, from here I'm going to feel it in my lower back where I'm in extension. Also too, if my head is back and I'm up like this, and I'm squeezing through, I'm trying to get my glutes to activate, but lower back is coming on. And notice, as soon as I tuck my chin in, nice and flat through the stomach, lower back flat, and I can get those glutes to engage. And then the last thing is, the weight just might be too heavy. If you're feeling it in your lower back, try reducing the weight, going back to those few tips I talked about in terms of form, so really engaging your glutes, core on tight, make sure you can do so, and then make sure you can feel it in your glutes, weight is good, and then from there, you can start to build that weight back up again.